save life and nothing else. Look at how a teacher was beheaded in cold blood. An innocent teacher. The only crime he committed is that he's a teacher, not a mom. The only crime he committed was that he's a teacher. An innocent teacher was murdered in cold blood. And when the innocent teacher was murdered, what did they do? Nothing. Some idiot will still come on the national television and begin to defend the criminal who called himself Junobu. The clown who cannot defend the country. The clown who came in power and he want to dominate, he want to take over everything. He just want to grab the power and run with it, and he will do nothing with it. Today, people are dying. People are literally dying everywhere, and there is nothing he can do. People are losing their life, right, left, and center. People are dying, and there is nothing he can do. An innocent teacher. The only crime that teacher committed is that he's a teacher, and they murdered him in cold blood. I want you to listen what this idiot, this liar, this bloody idiot and liar, how he's defending his master. Instead of owning up to the responsibility, he's busy defending his master. Let us listen to what he had to say. Idiots. When you see them, you think they have something in their brain. Nothing. The only thing that is their brain is extortion, criminality. That's all. That's the only thing they have in their brain.
All right. Now let's start with.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Now let's start with what has Nigeria heartbroken right now in Oyo State. 7 teachers and students were abducted from 3 schools. One teacher, Mr. Michael Oyedepo, was murdered, was beheaded on camera. Teachers are protesting in the streets. Parents are terrified. Governor Makinde has shut down schools across 4 local government areas. Now, this is 12 years after the world pledged $30 million to secure Nigerian schools after Chibok. How does the Tinubu administration explain to Nigerian parents that their children still aren't safe in classrooms in 2026?
Really, it is a terrible situation and a sad event. And the much that evil men can go to do this evil on their fellow human beings is what is unimaginable. This is the evil that is attacking us as a people. And this government regrets this incident, but this government is committed to fighting it. Our approach to dealing with this is to work with the Nigerian people in partnership. So it is unfortunate that after many years, this is still a sad situation. And like I said, and it bears repeating, that government regrets this incident, but the president continues to enjoy Nigerians to have faith. Let's partner together, and we will put an end to this problem confronting us as a people.
I mean, yes, you say that the government regrets the situation, and the president has called this killing barbaric and said the IGP is personally leading a tech-driven operation. But Nigerians online are saying they have heard these statements before. After every mass abduction, every terror attack, statements are issued, condolences are extended, and then it happens again. I mean, what do you think that will be done differently this time? Regrets are accepted, but we need solutions, Mr. Bwala.
I agree. Solution is what we all look to. And if you recall, if I cast your mind back to when the Sandy Hook shooting happened in the US during the presidency of Barack Obama, if you remember at that time, despite the announcement by the government of the United States and the commitment to put an end to it, it sort of was happening from back to back across the cities in the United States. Evil men operate anywhere in the world. No matter how tight you are as a government, you do your best, and then you expect that with the help of God and the collective participation of the people themselves in providing intelligence or in forming a vanguard, so to speak, we will be able to put an end to it. I know the Nigerian people continue to complain, and that rightfully so, because if, for example, no matter how we say we're sorry and the incident happened again, people will complain, people will cry, people will mourn, because for God's sake, it's the life of the Nigerian people that are taken away by this evil element. And let me tell you, Oji, this country, Nigeria, is bordering about 3 or 4 Sahel countries. This Sahel area, Sahel region, has now been considered as the epicenter of global terrorism in the world. It constitutes 51% of the global terrorism-related death. It is a serious situation. We know of the porous border that we have, but we also know that the president has directed that the relevant security organizations should be recruited. They should recruit personnel, and some of which, especially the SSS, will have to go to the forest. We need the people to also, as much as possible, when they have information about individuals in their communities that look strange, communicate to the law enforcement. And we will put an end to this as a people. I want to say one more thing regarding that. Every eve of election in Nigeria, from 2014, 2018, 2022, and now in 2026, you will see that crisis increases because of this idea of a crisis economy. A lot of people take advantage of that. But the will and the spirit of a collective people is what will put an end to this situation. The Constitution has guaranteed the right to every citizen of Nigeria, the right to private defense. You have right to defend yourself. When your right, my right, the right of my neighbor will come together, it is called collective right to defend ourselves. And Nigerian people have a right to defend themselves as a vanguard in their communities and localities.
You said we have the right to defend ourselves. I'm sure that you know that we do not have the right to bear arms. So, I don't know what you mean by defend ourselves. How will that happen? What do you say to the Nigerian people? How do they defend themselves from terrorists?
Right. There are many layers for self-defense. Number one, if I am in my house and you come into my house and try to harm me, any lethal weapon I use and kill you by defending myself is guaranteed by the Constitution. That's number one. Number two, as a people, we have vigilante. In Borno State, we have paramilitary organizations that work as vanguard, and some of them go as front lines to provide intelligence to law enforcement. Yes, you're right. The Nigerian people do not have the right to bear certain arms unless those arms are permitted. But a collective people can come together and apply to the government for the right to coordinate themselves, a self-regulated militia. And I remember that there was a time the current Director General of State Department talked about when he was sent to Balewa. I think at that time they used to have this kind of crisis, and how he advised them of how communities can come together and put an end to it, and it worked. So I think that the Nigerian people in villages, in towns, in places where the presence of government is not very much in terms of law enforcement and security people, you can come together and create a vanguard and then apply to government to give you license, because government can give you license. So you apply to government to give you the license to bear arms that are permitted by law for the purpose of defense of your community.
Self-regulated militia, and this is your advice to the Nigerian people. Let's talk about these joint efforts. Now, the U.S.-Nigeria joint operation that killed ISIS's second-in-command, Abu Bilal al-Muniki, was announced first by President Donald Trump of the United States on Truth Social and not by the Nigerian government. Now, 175 more terrorists have been eliminated in follow-up strikes. Now, if this is a joint operations, and this is what many Nigerians are asking, why is an American president announcing it before Nigeria does? And what does that say about our own communication strategy and ownership of our security wins?
Right. So as a government, we are not in competition with the United States as to who announced what. We're also not in competition with the United States government as to who takes the credit. Both the United States and the Nigerian government have shared interests to end terrorism in our borders and terrorism in our homes and terrorism in our communities. Joint operation or collaborative effort in dealing with terrorism has so many layers. The layers could be intelligence sharing, it could be training, it could be provision of arms, it could be precision, strike, and it could also be ground operation. All of these things are elements that can come together. The operation that was carried out was a kinetic operation. And so, as a people and as a government, we are not particularly in struggle with the United States as to who should announce first and who should announce second, or who should take the credit or who should not. If you look at the statement of President Trump on Truth Social and the statement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, both of them have appreciated each other and have complimented each other in this endeavor. That is what we are focusing on, because that is the fact issue. But we are not about the externalities that have no relevance to the targets that we are looking at.
So is this what we're going to see moving forward? Will President Donald Trump continue to announce the attacks on Nigerian soil?
What I can guarantee you is that we will continue to see the pouncing on the attack and how we are dealing with these terrorists. You are going to see more of the strike, more of the operation that will attempt to put an end to terrorism, because it's a global concern. But as for who will announce first, it's not part of our agenda. It's not. I also believe that it is not part of the U.S. agenda. Nigeria is not offended that Donald Trump has announced first. Nigeria is excited that we have created a partnership that is putting an end to this terrorism by first of all taking the head of the snake and then decapitating the body of the associates.
All right, Mr. Boala, let's talk about the economy. President Tinubu is now seeking a fresh $1.25 billion World Bank loan approval set for, I believe, June 26th. And, you know, we all know that it's election season, and this is just coming 6 months before the 2027 election. Nigerians flooded the World Bank's Instagram page, begging them to stop lending money to the federal government. Now, the World Bank locked their comment section. Mr. Boala, when citizens are begging international lenders not to give their government money, doesn't that tell you something that is fundamentally broken in how, you know, Nigeria?
This is the eve of election, and so it is difficult to tell whether the citizens who have flooded the page asking that Nigeria be denied the right to borrow, whether they are opposition, they are opponent, or they are genuine citizens. But whether they are opposition, opponent, or genuine citizens, they are citizens of Nigeria. And they have a right of expression. But government has a duty to execute the provision of the Constitution. In leadership, you listen to people, but when it comes to carrying out your responsibility, you do that in accordance with the law, due process of law, and your understanding of the responsibility that is placed in your hand. If as a government, you are going to react to a people who on social media say do not borrow Nigeria A, B, and C, what about if you have a counter distinction of another set of people saying go and borrow? How are you going to move as a leader? Leadership is not guided by certain things that do not have the backing of law. The World Bank, the IMF, and experts in the field have said that our borrowing so far is still on amber. It is not red, because we have been able to establish a revenue ratio, even though it is not that much, but it is not a danger, it is not red. The truth of the matter is this: we do not as a country have sufficient funds to deal with infrastructure, to stimulate the economy. And with the daunting tax on us and the responsibility to redirect the economy, we have to do what we have to do. Borrowing is part of it. America is borrowing money, and that is the largest.
This idiot is fond of
there is
giving
no country
examples
of
of
the world that
America.
is not borrowing.
I don't know why they like to give examples of America when you
borrowing,
can't do 1/4 of what America is doing.
Conducted or done now.
Stop comparing yourself with America. You don't have to.
The World Bank and experts have said it's amber and
This
not red.
idiot, a disgraced human
We
being.
have to invest in infrastructure. We know we have to invest in capital, a project, and that is why we are borrowing. And the president has already said that borrowing is not leprosy.
All right, so Mr. Boala, you think for a moment that those people that flooded the social media, World Bank's Instagram page might be opposition? It appears that they're overwhelming opposition at this point, because for the World Bank to lock their comment section, it means that there are a lot of frustrated Nigerians.
I Rise Television, of the platform on which I'm being interviewed at the moment, on several occasions. Several occasions I've had to lock their comment section. I am a witness to it because
really, I don't remember that.
Staff of Arise.
Really, okay.
I can the next time you interview me, I'll give you date and time and event.
I want
it's
screenshots.
Natural for you to lock up. People have their reason. The World Bank locking up their comment section is outside of the control of Nigeria. And I have not said when I was answering your question that all of the people who flooded the pages and the page of World Bank demanding our opposition. I'm just giving you a scenario. This is the eve of election. You will not be able to tell whether these are opposition, these are Nigerians, or these are opponents. Then I added by saying that even if they are opposition or they are ordinary citizens, they are all Nigerians and they have a right to express that. But the government has a duty to do what it has to do.
And sometimes, anybody that believes in an idiot,
you take decision that is not palatable with the members of the family, but you know it's a decision you have to take. Why? Because it's important for the future and guarantee the security of the family. That's the tax of leadership, the price of leadership.
All right, Mr. Mwala, I want to clarify this. I want to make it clear that Arise Television does not block their comment section. I mean, you can be a witness. You can go on the morning show, the live feed, you see it. People are commenting every moment. We have no reason to lock our comment section because we need the feedback of the Nigerian. Yes.
Don't even give yourself enough pressure to say that I am not gazing. This is a fact that some years back, Arise TV on one occasion have had to lock up the comment section. Personally, I called the staff of Arise and said, why do you guys lock up the comment section? And they say sometimes the noise from the people, you have to lock it up. So if you are in doubt as to what I say, all I did is to give me another time. I will come with facts and figures. You know, we are in the eve of election. We come with receipts. We are no longer doing conjecture anymore.
All right, maybe you tell me that person because I mean that is against our policy. We do not lock our comment section. Now let's just move on this conversation. You are the special advisor on policy communication. So now let's talk about the message the APC primaries are sending. We have videos of officials skipping numbers while counting votes. Today I took a story where in Kogi State, we saw somebody counting from 100 to 300. Yahaya Bello won, his primary while under, EFCC investigation for that 80 billion naira fraud. We saw the Senate president who's now running unopposed as a consensus candidate. Now, how do you communicate democratic credibility when your own party's primaries look like this?
There are two issues that you have raised. The first one has to do with the primaries, and rightly you mentioned, counting irregularity. I'm sure you also reported today, I watched your program, where in some states, results that were earlier announced were later corrected. They may have connection with some of these irregularities.
This man is a criminal.
Party to correct mistakes.
This man is a criminal.
Number two, the idea of Yahaya Bello,
a big criminal. Look at how he has
prosecution being elected. There is no law of the land that precludes, restrict, prohibit anybody who is standing trial from running the office, even to the highest office of the land. Because the one we practice says that you are presumed innocent until you are proven guilty. The innocency that is presumed by law, it is as though you are as clean as every other person. So anybody who is standing trial has every right to run for office until he's convicted. That conviction alone will then invalidate whatever outcome of that is election. So everybody should be allowed to do what constitutionally they are guaranteed to do. But this is where even better, because there are individuals in this our democratic process who don't even believe there should be primaries. I'm sure you know Peter Obi has been jumping from pillar to post like table tennis, going to parties where he'll be given automatic ticket. He fears primaries. He wants to be adopted. There is no undemocratic means. And what is pathetic, I am expecting that when you're analyzing that, people should be weeping. Because there is a thin line between that type of lifestyle and dictatorship, where you don't want a democratic process where somebody will emerge by popularity. You want to be adopted, and that's why you're jumping from one party to the other. I expect that should dominate the conversation and stories trending.
Are you calling Peter Obi a dictator? Is that what you're calling him now?
Yes, I want to say Peter Obi has the trappings and the tendencies of a dictator. Right from his days in Abga, Peter Obi lost the primaries in Abga, but because of the honor to late Ojukwu, he was granted that opportunity. From that day, Peter Obi has never had any primaries in his life. And you have seen after he left ADC, by themselves, as they keep talking to the media, they said that he has had a discussion in which he wanted assurances that he was going to be adopted. There's a difference between adopted and consensus. Because somebody can come, like, for example, Rotimi Amechi, he actually went with the mindset that, okay, let us have this conversation towards arriving at a consensus. It's part of the democratic process. But when you say you should be adopted, you have even eliminated the tendency of a conversation that will lead to consensus. You are a dictator, and the Nigerian people should avoid it, because such an individual will not respect the rights of others. The fundamental principles of democracy is the right of individual to exercise themselves. If you say you want that, and all these people you are hearing that Peter Obi has a movement, people are following him. They are following him because they want to also get to be adopted in their political party, not because they like him or he presents an ideal vision for a better future. And I expect that conversation to dominate the media, because that tendency can destroy democracy anywhere in the world.
Well, now Peter Obi has emerged as the Nigerian Democratic Congress sole presidential aspirant for 2027. Kwankwaso is now, being floated as the potential running mate. He has declared that he will run with Peter Obi as vice president. Sheyi Makinde just declared on the PDP-APM alliance. Now, the opposition is making moves. Does the Tinubu administration see a credible opposition threat in 2027? Or are you confident that that the opposition will split the votes again like they did in 2023?
Even if you bring all of them together, they are familiar customers to President Tinubu. He has defeated all of them. He has defeated Atiku Abubakar. He has defeated Rotimi Amechi in the primaries. He has defeated Peter Obi. He has defeated Kwankwaso. And these are the people that are leading the conversation around opposition. And he defeated them when the odds were against him. The odds were heavily against him at the time, because there was a conspiracy to ensure that Tinubu did not even get to the screen, not to talk of standing primaries. A man who has defeated him when the odds were against him, how do you think that when he has been able to consolidate and has redirected this economy with testimonies we have, recommended and praised by World Bank, by IMF, by everybody
this
around,
guy is a clown.
and that type of a person that this
guy is a
in fact, sometimes I used to say, and it bears repeating, mentioning Peter Obi in the same sentence with Tinubu is being disservice to President Tinubu, because all his strategies that have governed in Lagos, one after the other, if you place their record side by side with that of Peter Obi, they've done better than him. So, but in democracy, anybody who says he wants to become president, he has a right to come out, and that's why we're mentioning Peter Obi and Ashwaju. They're not supposed to be in the same sentence. They are not they are not mates in terms of capacity, in terms of history, in terms of achievement, and in terms of political sagacity. In fact, this morning, Oji, I saw a video in which somebody was saying, and I will forward to you, in case you want to have the program context. The person was saying that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso are running this election in order to make money. I will send you the video. I didn't say it. He said because they made
people can say whatever they want to say. Everybody has their views, right? Do you believe that to be true? Is that what you're saying?
I agree that everybody has a right, but the fact that they say he ran to make money is something I'm interested in digging further to know, because I know in the last election he did not win the election, and I know after the election, in the last election, they had a problem at their level where a lady who was their treasurer called to question the accountability of their resources. So these are facts. You cannot bring these people and say you are going to stand them side by side with President Bola Tinubu.
All right, at this moment, you don't believe there is a credible opposition as we speak. That's what you're saying, Mr. Boala, right? Before we end,
I will tell you this: there is no credible.
Go ahead.
There's no credible politician in the opposition now that has the capacity to defeat Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in this election on 4 grounds: 1, on person-to-person resume; 2, on political sagacity; 3, on record, because we have
these people are shameless.
And the 4th one,
these people are shameless. When this guy is talking about resume, what resume does Tinubu have? A drug baron. A drug baron, convicted drug baron that nobody knows his age. Nobody knows his age. Nobody knows the school he attended. Nobody knows how he made his money. Nigerian politics is really dirty. It's really, when you see these clowns speak, you begin to wonder, where is their conscience? When you see idiots like this speak, you begin to wonder. The only reason I play them is for people to see their shame and disgrace. When we say Nigeria is a disgraced country, we don't just say it and go to sleep. We go say it and we show it to you. For you to know that Nigeria truly is a disgraced country. Disgraced country. That is why I show their media programs. Because if we don't show it and just talk about it, some of you will not believe. Some of you will just think it's a made up story. So when we say it, we show it to you for you to see. Maybe when you see, you believe. We cannot just be talking about it without showing you. That is why I go to their media, bring some of their news and show to you for you to know that we are not just on social media making noise. Every single thing we are saying are the truth and nothing but the truth. They can continue to run away from it. That will not change the truth from being the truth. Why we are here is to expose them. And we will continue to expose them. Let's listen to this there trending news and see what is happening.
Today is May 20th. Arsenal just won the Premier League after 22 years. Iran is holding mass weddings. For more volunteers, U.S. Nigeria forces eliminated 175 ISIS terrorists, and cocaine was hidden in a Kim Kardashian underwear shipment. Let's dive right in. I am Oji Okwe, and this is what's trending. Now, before we dive in, let's talk about the music that has Nigeria vibing this week. Adekunle Gold just released Fuji Extra, a 5-track deluxe edition, expanding his critically acclaimed album, Fuji. Let's listen in. In London, to mass weddings in Iran. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. U.S.-Nigerian joint strikes have eliminated 175 ISIS terrorists in northeast Nigeria. First, ISIS's second-in-command, Abu Bilal al-Muniki. Now, 175 more killed in follow-up operations that destroyed weapons, caches, checkpoints, and logistic hubs. Several senior ISWAP leaders were also eliminated. Nigeria's anti-graft agency on Tuesday arrested former Minister of Power, Saleh Maman, in Kaduna State. Maman, who served under Buhari's administration, had been on the run after being convicted in absentia and sentenced to 75 years in prison for massive financial crimes. Iran held mass public weddings in Tehran for hundreds of couples who signed up for a state-sponsored self-sacrifice scheme, pledging to put their lives on the line in the war with the United States and Israel. The ceremony, broadcast on state TV to boost wartime morale, included couples arriving in military jeeps with mounted machine guns and being married on stages decorated with images of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mujtaba Khamenei. In entertainment, a Polish lorry driver has been jailed for 13 years after attempting to smuggle 7.2 million euros worth of cocaine hidden inside a shipment of Kim Kardashian's Skims shapewear brand. The driver was stopped at a UK port with 90 kilograms of cocaine concealed in his trailer doors. He was paid just 4,500 euros for the job. In sports, history was made. Arsenal won the Premier League for the first time in 22 years on Tuesday. Manchester City's draw with Bournemouth handed the North London club the title they've been chasing for 2 decades, and they're not done yet. Arsenal will face Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League final on May 30th.
Of what will be a very long and very special story.
Arsenal! Okay, you see this? Who are the Arsenal fans here? Quickly.
Ayo is one.
Ayo.
I'm not an actor. This one.
Yes, she was wearing her just. Oh, they said me against. Yes. Well, I don't watch football. I don't even.
I was thinking I should have won Red because of Ayo, because I know Ayo would have had well, I mean, gosh, 22 years. I was reveling in the moment.
Right, but they have one more game, May 30th. You have another championship. Well, that's another Champions League. Hopefully, yes.
They have Crystal Palace.
But I mean, 22 years exactly. 22 years. Dr. Mati, the legendary. Good morning. How are you this morning? Goodbye. Muteri Ekpeyo. Hey!
Correct. Where our senator is back unchallenged, uncontested, just like that. Because it's the standards.
Just like that. But we need more answers to these sort of things. Well, all right. Well, now we've been covering some heavy stories this week. From school abductions in Oyo State to the United States and Nigeria's joint security operations and the APC primaries, which witnessed apparent vote rigging caught on camera. I spoke with Daniel Bwala, President Tinubu's special advisor on policy communication, to get answers about what this administration is doing to address Nigeria's immediate crisis and more. Here's what he had to say.
This is the evil that is attacking us as a people. And this government regrets this incident, but this government is committed to fighting it. Our approach to dealing with this is to work with the Nigerian people in partnership. It is unfortunate that after many years, this is still a sad situation. And like I said, and it bears repeating, that government regrets this incident, but the president continues to enjoin Nigerians to have faith. Let's partner together and we will put an end to this problem confronting us as a people.
I mean, yes, you say that the government regrets the situation, and the president has called this killing barbaric and said the IGP is personally leading a tech-driven operation. But Nigerians online are saying they have heard these statements before. After every mass abduction, every terror attack, statements are issued, condolences are extended, and then it happens again. I mean, what do you think that will be done differently this time? Regrets are accepted, but we need solutions, Mr. Bwala.
I agree. Solution is what we all look to. And evil men operate anywhere in the world. No matter how tight you are as a government, you do your best, and then you expect that with the help of God and the collective participation of the people themselves in providing intelligence or in forming a vanguard, so to speak, we will be able to put an end to it. I know the Nigerian people continue to complain, and rightfully so, because if, for example, no matter how we say we're sorry and the incident happened again, people will complain, people will cry, people will mourn, because for God's sake, it's the life of the Nigerian people that are taken away by this evil element. And we will put an end to this as a people. I want to say one more thing regarding that. Every eve of election in Nigeria, from 2014, 2018, 2022, and now in 2026, you will see that crisis increases because of this idea of a crisis economy. A lot of people take advantage of that. But the will and the spirit of a collective people is what will put an end to this situation. The Constitution has guaranteed the right to every citizen of Nigeria, the right to private defense. You have right to defend yourself. When your right, my right, the right of my neighbor will come together, it is called collective right to defend ourselves. And Nigerian people have a right to defend themselves as a vanguard in their communities and localities.
I'm sure that you know that we do not have the right to bear arms. So I don't know what you mean by defend ourselves. How will that happen? What do you say to the Nigerian people? How do they defend themselves from terrorists?
Right. There are many layers for self-defense. Number one, if I am in my house and you come into my house and try to harm me, any lethal weapon I use and kill you by defending myself is guaranteed by the Constitution. That's number one. Number two, as a people, we have vigilante. In Borno State, we have paramilitary organizations that work as vanguard, and some of them go as front lines to provide intelligence to law enforcement. Yes, you're right. The Nigerian people do not have the right to bear certain arms unless those arms are permitted. But a collective people can come together and apply to the government for the right to coordinate themselves, a self-regulated militia. So I think that the Nigerian people in villages, in towns, in places where the presence of government is not very much in terms of law enforcement and security people, you can come together and create a vanguard and then apply to government to give you license, because government can give you license. So you apply to government to give you the license to bear arms that are permitted by law for the purposes of defense of your community.
Self-regulated militia, and this is your advice to the Nigerian people. But let's talk about these joint efforts. Now, the US-Nigeria joint operation that killed ISIS's second in command, Abu Bilal al-Muniki, was announced first by President Donald Trump of the United States on Truth Social and not by the Nigerian government. Now, 175 more terrorists have been eliminated in follow-up.
Both of them have appreciated each other and have completed execution being elected. There is a dictator, and the Nigerian people should avoid it, because such an individual will not respect the rights of others.
With just a few people left in the area, let's take a look. Joining me on the program. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, and I also want to congratulate you for this new creative thing you have added to what I used to fondly call the gossip section. You finally have a chance to have engagement. That's very productive.
Fantastic. So it's no longer the gossip channel, is it? It's not. It's no longer the gossip program.
No longer gossip section.
Well, all right. Thank you very much, Daniel Wala. Welcome back to What's Trending. We've been reading your comments during the break, and you have a lot to say. We'll dive into some of those reactions in a bit, but first, let's get into other stories. Now, in Oyo State, chilling new videos have emerged on social media showing the aftermath of violent abductions of teachers and students in the community, with residents fleeing their homes to save their lives. In Yaota community, Orile local government area, many houses and streets are now deserted, with just a few people left in the area. Let's take a look.
Ọ̀kan lára ìlú tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Oríire. Ẹ bá wo àárín ìlú, ẹ rí pé àárín ìlú dá lọ́gán. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Ibi ni ó ti pọ̀jù tí wọ́n ti kó àwọn ènìyàn. Ẹ rí àwọn ènìyàn ẹrù kan tó ní wọ́n ti fẹ́ kó kúrò. Ẹ dákun àná. Má. Ẹ̀yin ni wọ́n. Ọmọ tàbí tó ní ọkọ̀ tó kí. Kí ló wáyé?
Àṣìṣe àgbà tí ó ń kọ mí.
Ẹ á rí pé ẹ ti kó ẹrù lọ sí.
Èsì ẹrù ti tèmi, àwọn kan ló kẹ́rù wá láti padà kó lọ.
Ẹ̀wọ̀n akókò nínú ẹ̀.
Àkókò ni àwọn tó àpòlá wà nínú ìlú yìí. Sápò dúkìá wa kan mú wa lọ.
Ọmọ àwọn táìlì rẹ̀.
Ìyá wọ́ta ní bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú skọ́ọ̀sì lọ́gbọ́n wọn ọmọ tàbí tó ọmọ ọdún karùn-ún, ọmọ ọdún méjì. Ìjọba gbà wá kí wọ́n sáànù wa. Orí wọ́n ti sẹ́ẹ̀dì ìyàwó wa tó gbé lọ. Wọ́n ní sẹ́ẹ̀dì sí wa tí ń lo iṣẹ́ látàlú. Kí wọ́n mọ̀ pàtó wọ́n dáàbò wọn wá àwọn ọmọ wálé. Láti ẹni tó pa láàárọ̀ ìlú iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n jọ wọ́n mọ̀ pò náà wọ́n dárí tí wọ́n sáànù wa.
Wọ́n ṣàánú wa ní o. Wọ́n ṣàánú wa káwọn ọmọ ìjọ wálé o. Kí wọ́n wálé ní o. Gbogbo etí bàbá ń ṣe ní ọ̀tọ̀ o. Káwọn wálé ní o.
This is so heartbreaking. These videos come as we're also, seeing similar videos like this from Kwara State of ghost towns, with people having to pack their life belongings, leave their homes, and keep their families safe. Meanwhile, Defense Headquarters announced in a statement on Tuesday that after joint counter-terrorism efforts with United States Africa Command, 175 ISIS terrorists have been killed in the Northeast. The statement was signed by Major General Samilia Uba. And also we had, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General YD Shaibu, revealing that the Army plans to recruit 28,000 more troops to strengthen the fight against terrorism and insecurity. Dr. Abati, we're seeing this sort of, joint efforts, but also we are seeing these terror attacks in our communities. In your state, we've seen some videos, some unconfirmed, people fleeing their communities. Your thoughts at this point?
Okay, let me start from where you stop. First, the efforts of the Nigerian government. Now, you recall that on Sunday, a few days ago, after the statement by the American President Trump on Saturday about the collaboration between Nigeria and the United States, leading to the killing of Al-Menoki, who is said to be the second in command. Now, on Sunday, the Nigerian government, through President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also issued a statement in that regard about efforts being made. Subsequently, the Nigerian government defense headquarters said they had decimated, they had neutralized about an additional 75 ISIS fighters in the northeast. And then yesterday, General Sumaila Uba also reported that as a result of collaboration between the defense headquarters, the Nigerian Armed Forces, and AFRICOM, the US command, the AFRICOM, that they've been able to kill up to about 175, including a guy called Abu Wahab, another guy called Abdul Mujab, and also a third guy who was said also to be senior commanders. Now, the pure indication here is that one, the collaboration between the US and Nigeria in dealing with these terrorists appears to be yielding results. Two, it is also obvious that all these senior ISIS commanders working with ISWAP, when they got into trouble in the Middle East, Nigeria and the Sahel region became their location. What we can urge is that the federal government, should continue in this regard. It's not an episode. It must be a consistent, sustainable kind of cooperation, particularly as General Uba was very clear in saying that weapons have been destroyed, networks have been broken, the financial trail, have also been compromised. Now, as for the community in Orire local government, it's very unfortunate. The event there was coordinated when we were told that 5 different local governments in Oyo, including Oyo East, Surulere local government, and Orire and one other local government, in schools in those communities. Now, this is what the women are reacting to. People are running away from this particular community in Orire local government, and they are talking about their children that have been taken away. The community is their water community. It's become desperate. It's an emerging ghost town. And then in Kwara State, the community in Kwara State is known as Uru, and that happened before now. People have also decided that, so you have people becoming internal refugees in their own country. People being displaced on a consistent basis, in different parts of the country. And this is very scary because we used to talk about the northeast, the northwest, the north central. Now the thing has crept into the southwest through the Kwara axis. Ogbomoso is like a buffer zone between the direct north and then down south. Now they have reached Kwara, they have reached Ogbomoso, they've reached Oyo. I read a report saying that in fact, in one estate in Ijebu, the estate was attacked overnight and people were abducted. So they have reached Ogun State. Very soon they will hit the Atlantic Ocean. So that underscores the urgency of the problem and why the Nigerian government should continue to do whatever it must. I heard Ebola say government will collaborate with the people. People should defend themselves. The duty of government under section 14 sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution is to ensure the security and welfare of the people. We have become a desperate society, living in a pressure cooker style of environment. If the people have to be the ones to carry arms and defend themselves, If you give me a knife, I can't even slaughter, ordinary chicken. Ordinary chicken. No, I can't.
But he's promoting a self-defense mechanism.
I get his point. That you have the right to self-defense. You should also.
Constitution guarantees that we can even ask the government for license in our community. We should come.
That easy to get.
I mean, I don't know.
If your assailant is carrying AK-47,
yes,
you are carrying a hunting gun, a king gun.
Yes.
Look at let government continue to do its job and do it well, so that the people can have confidence and trust government. That government is discharging its responsibility.
Thank you.
Let them not pass the bomb to us.
No.
If you give me ordinary Kundu or party. I would not want to use it.
Oh, yeah, but it's true. Dubai, you want to say something?
Yes, let me chip in very quickly. I've been repeating something over the past few days, and I'm excited to see some progress, which is that I called out the fact that it seems that the United States was leading when it comes to making these announcements when there are strikes and so forth. But this most recent one that took place on the 15th of May, or is it 18th of May, I saw a simultaneous posting from AFRICON and from Nigeria's Defense HQ. And for me, that it speaks volumes. Some people might think we're nitpicking at little things, but it speaks volumes about an equal partnership as opposed to a leader and a master and servant type of relationship. Very quickly on Oyo, the Defense HQ has come out again to say that there is no southwest camp. I want to get their exact words. Operational base. They said there's no terrorist operational base in the southwest. Obviously, they're trying to calm some of the panic that we've seen translating into people leaving their homes and their villages and so forth. However, I think there's an important conversation that needs to happen around mining. We know that historically in Oyo State, where illegal mining is concerned, there's been a recurring challenge that has never been able to be addressed quite effectively. And we know that when these terrorists are being attacked and being decimated in various parts, whether it be the northwest, the northeast, and so forth, they're going to continue to look for places where they can get themselves resources to continue to finance their activities. So having said that, I hope that there is a concentrated effort to ensure that wherever there is mining activity in the country, security is increased, as obviously they're running away from their strong bases now. And so there needs to be collaboration. The governors of the southern states had come together to announce a security fund. Was that created? How far are we with that collaborative effort? Because, like I said, it's just it's common sense. If they're being attacked in their stronghold and they're being forced to move out, those places that are not ready and alert, such as the southwest, for example, would not want to be caught unprepared. So just a few points on that.
Thank you both. Now, reactions are trailing Vice President Kashim Shettima's shocking revelation on Tuesday that 3 months into